Wayfinder is a dead game. Or that what you would think if you honestly look around here on YouTube, Twitter, and a few other places as well as Twitch. But with that being said, we need to go ahead and have a little discussion about this. And it's been something that's been on my mind for a bit. And also, Alex from Wayfinder ended up just straight up answering the question forehand and giving an opinion from at least the developer / community manager side of the game itself. And yeah, we need to go ahead and have a little bit of talk about this. But before we hop into this, I do want to give a giant thank you to everybody that is supporting over on patreon.com/Maconn, subscribing over on twitch.tv/TroyMaconn, as well as everybody that is hitting that wonderful join membership button below here on YouTube. Links in the description to help out to keep the channel being awesome and keep bringing you all the MMO content you will ever need. And with that, let's jump into this and let's talk about, is Wayfinder truly dead or not? So when it comes to the discussion, we need to go ahead and start here at the very beginning for Wayfinder. And well, a lot of the sales and opinions that are coming out about this being a dead game is mainly coming from Steam, since the game itself did come out in August, and here we are in early November, and we have to admit that the player base on Steam have indeed dropped dramatically, with the game starting out at a little over 24,000 players, and now at the time of this video anyway, is of course peaking around 415, which is a giant drop in player base here. But one of the things to keep in mind here when it comes to this game for Steam is, of course, this is not the only numbers that really play into all this, because most people want to put all them hopes and dreams into Steam numbers as far as success and failure. But let's be real, this is not just a Wayfinder thing. You see this all the time. And of course, the numbers are not accurate by any means. I would agree if it was officially tied to Steam and only Steam. But Wayfinder is also available on PS4 and PS5. And I know from my experience, when I see players in the game, the majority of them are PS4 and PS5 players, since Wayfinder do put little symbol next to your name showing you where you are playing. And PS4 and 5 is the majority of the player base, which is not surprising, especially when you see the Steam numbers. Is that meaning if more people on PS4, PS5? We don't know off the top of our heads here. I don't have that information. Only the people at Digital Dream and L-Chip Syndicate have the numbers. But I can go ahead and say from during launch time up to now, it seemed to very heavily lean toward PlayStation players, which makes sense just because of how big the PS4 and in some way PS5 player base could be with the sale numbers of the system. And with it being a $20 buy-in, that is something else to keep in mind here, since this game is going to be free to play sometime in 2024, early in the year, which we all knew. They haven't hidden it. It's been a fact that they have been talking about long before the game went up into early access here. So that is something to keep in mind here. That free to play is something that will obviously bump the number up. Will the number stay up? That is a whole different discussion that we will see when we get to that point. But I do have to say, from my experience playing quote-unquote dead MMOs, you know who you are on that end. But we all know MMOs are not dead to the company who wants to shut down the server. And then, a lot of MMOs do live on through private servers. And honestly, Wayfinder is nowhere near that. Don't get me wrong, Kill. There is a couple other things to bring into the equation as far as like why the player base might seem low, as well as people saying this is a dead game beyond the Steam numbers alone. And of course, a lot of that have to come into mainly two things. First of all, is mainly the game itself still have a lot of bugs and glitches and hang up. And today when I was playing some of it that morning, I was still randomly getting disconnected randomly throughout on PS5, as well as I know any now the PC version still have a couple of locking and resetting bugs that are happening. So that there is indeed a big turn off. I know for a lot of people, because game crashes, it's never fun for anyone. But at the end of the day, that is something that in time, finger crossed, all that will be worked out. I know it's frustrating when there is certain bugs and glitches that were there from day one that is still there now. Any with a digital stream and Airship Syndicate putting out new content, such as the new content we just got with the Weevil King. And that does kind of rub some people the wrong way, I will admit freely, because a lot of people I know want game fixed and then updates and extra content. But that's not how the development is going. There seems to be content with bug fixes and, of course, everything that comes from that, which more power to anyone that will just go ahead and just make the game not fun for them. I totally understand that. I totally get it. But with that being said, though, there is a couple other little things here and there that need to be worked out. And, of course, hopefully in due time, it will happen. We can hope. We can really hope that it will get worked out, which I personally see this not really being an issue long term, especially with how communicative the devs are with everyone. So hopefully the problems that assist right now might not assist by the time we go free to play. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. We will see. But with that all being said, if I have my opinion of the game itself is right now might not be in the best shape, and on top of that, the other reason that a lot of players more likely have stopped playing is because outside of the players that literally just waiting for free to play to happen is of course the players that have always ran through the content itself. Since, let's be honest, we all know this, when it comes to gaming nowadays, there is a giant rush, and any more so in MMOs, of get to in-game as fast as possible, get all the weapons unlocked as fast as possible. Might it be for black and white, might it be for videos, might it be for whatever reason. We know this is a thing that exists, and of course, when you rush to in-game and you get everything unlocked as fast as humanly possible, not only do you run into the issue of not having anything to do, because if you have everything and you got nothing to farm for, especially since Wayfinder is so farm heavy, right there is a reason to stop playing because there's nothing to do. And then not even counting the whole thing of players just burning themselves out, because that is something that happens if you're burning through hundreds of hours of content in a matter of a weekend or over a week. As someone who have always put in almost 300 hours into the game, and I still don't have all the weapons, I'm still missing 2 Wayfinder, I still need to finish the main story. There is stuff to do here. It just, honestly, for me, I learned a long time ago doing the whole rushing the in-game stuff. It's not good for anybody, and just the fastest way to become cynical about a game, because once you put in that much time, over that small amount of time, frustrations and cracks in it can start showing, and then a burnout will set in, which in return is another reason you are probably seeing some people screaming about this being a dead game, because for them, it is. They have nothing else to do. But that is not the majority of the player base. And as it stands right now, do I think Wayfinder is worth hopping in? Is it worth paying $20? Personally, as long as you understand there are some issues here and there when it comes to stability, and you're okay with that, I still think it's worth the $20 bell minimum. I would not go out of my way and spend, the multiple, $80, $90, $100. I would not do that. My biggest advice that have been from day one is, if you're interested in it, grab it at 20, and if you care about the stuff later down the line, feel free to upgrade, as well as waiting to free to play. As of now, other than the one FOMO time event we had with the Call of the Void stuff, not really anything beyond that. It's FOMO, so right now you're not really missing out on stuff. And with how the content is rolling out, being every 2 weeks with giant chunks roughly, by the time they go free to play, I don't think content going to be an issue. without, once again, you are someone who's gonna watch all the way to the end as fast as humanly possible, which I do not recommend doing if you can help it, especially for a game of that type. But that is just my opinion. I don't think the game is dead by any means. If anything, the game is in like a very much, we have exit our hype and have went straight into the point of how most games, all that and all the asset is gradual update, gradual fixes, bugs, and everything that come from it. And honestly, we will see how many players come back at the launch of Season 2 with the new Battle Pass or Reward Tower with our new character. It'd be interesting to see how many people are going to kill, especially of the 24,000 that owned it on Steam plus on all the other platforms. But once again, I personally don't think Wayfinder will ever be the biggest MMO known to man, but I do got faith in it that it will be successful in the end, if not already, since I know for the most part they have been pretty happy with the way it turned out. But that is just my opinion, and honestly, my opinion can only go so far. But how is the developers and the community managers and everyone tied on that side? Well, they feeling about all that. Lucky enough doing the last big dev event that Alex put on, or saw Golf over on Discord, ended up having some words just on that. And I pretty much side with him on the discussion just because it's like we have seen this happen hundreds of times over our lifespan with MMO. But I'm going to let Alex cover this and take it away, Alex.
I mean, I'm more than happy to confront the dead game arguments. So it's early access. There is a huge population that are just waiting purely for the game to be fully released, which is going to happen. But also, it's a very different model when it's a free-to-play game versus a paid, $60, $70 entry game. So you best believe, if you don't think a flood of players is coming as soon as we go free-to-play, I would stake all of the money I own in the world that flood is going to be coming as soon as we go onto free-to-play. Not only are we going to have all the people that are waiting on the sidelines, but we're also going to have all the people that have just been waiting for free-to-play. And anybody else who just like, oh my god, a new fantasy action RPG that's free for me to try out, why not give it a go? So our goal is just to continue to polish, make the game as good as it possibly can be. And when people literally try the game out with no risk to themselves, they hopefully fall in love and stick around, and it's only going to get better from there. So I am not worried at all in the slightest, not worried about reviews, not worried about anything. Yes, there's things that we're fixing. Yes, there's things that we know about, and there's a lot of content that we're excited to put out into the world. It's just going to take time, and we're just going to keep staying the course. So you can keep saying it as much as you like, but I don't think it's going to change the fact of what reality is going to turn out to be.
And with that, that will go ahead and do it for me for today. Let me know in the comment below how exactly you feeling about it, because I did end up asking some people over on my community tab over on YouTube, which I highly recommend checking out if you haven't, if they think the game is dead. And yeah, 37% of the people does think it's dead, but 20 do not. And then also 20 have never any played it, and I know 22 is waiting. So let me know in the comment how you feeling about all this. And of course, while you are down there, if you have found that video helpful in any way, shape, or form, or you don't want to miss out on any more MMO content, make sure to thumbs up, subscribe, hit all the wonderful bells below to be notified of all my videos. And with that, that's gonna do it for me, and I will see you in the comments.